Hey, this is Peter at ShelfMe. About a week ago, an old friend of mine, David, contacted me and said, hey, I need a shelf for a specific application. This is going to wrap around an AC unit, and I've got a really specific design in mind. So I helped him design this a little bit. So let's take a look. I've started with just a default editor here. Let's move these out of the way and get started. The basic structure that he wants is sort of an N shape. And the basic structure for this is there'll be 4 standards across. The standard is just a vertical piece. As I say, it's an N shape, so let's start by adding a couple of panels. Okay, here we go. We've got panel 1 and panel 2. We just drag those out of the way, and now we're going to take away their backers because we don't want that on this case. Now, but something particularly that he wants is, let's see, he doesn't want it to connect along the bottom because there's an AC unit that's going to be sitting right around here. And if I try to move this up, oops, these are all locked together. And they're locked together because normally that's what you want for a shelf, for a floor standing shelf. So we need to figure out how to unlock that. Now in this case, there are options that have to do with support areas. And you can see here that there are support areas. This is for the bottom support area right here. There's an option here on the bottom support area for lock. So we're going to unlock that, and we're going to take it and we're going to move it. Oh, fantastic. Okay, so here we have this thing that's sort of an N shape. Now, Dave's got a list of things that he wants to have happen. So first of all, in the corners, we're going to have square, 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 like that. And then we're going to have another square at each of the bottoms. So let's get started constructing just the structure, which is always a good start. Start by making the structure and then worry about the sizing. So we're going to start by taking these 2, and we're going to need 3 panels. So on each one, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we've got these panels. And let's start, we'll just align these together so we can just see what that's going to look like. Okay, there's going to be something that looks like that. And then we're going to select both of those. Shift-click, multiple select. Okay, and then we're going to have something like that that's sitting down there at the bottom. Now, as I said, it's supposed to be square, square, square. We're going to add a couple of panels right here, 1 and 2. Okay, I think I might have ended up with 1 too many, so let's get rid of that. Okay, so you can see this is going to be the basic structure of this case. Okay, now what happens when I move things around? Well, that doesn't really do what I want. This doesn't really do what I want right here. There are a whole bunch of problems, and the basic problem is that we just haven't told this model what we actually care about yet. But we're going to do that next. So first of all, I think we've got we care about making this the same width as this, the same width as this, same width of this. So we're going to select all these. Okay. We select all these areas, and then we select their dimensions, 1, 2, 3, 4. And at this point, we will see that there is a lock equals option, and we're going to click that lock equals option. And now they should all be the same width. So if I start to resize something, you see, okay, it's not what I want exactly, but everything stays the same width, so that's a good start. Okay, so now we want to say this one here is the same height as really any of these 3 right here is the same height as this one. So we can select 1 and 2 and 3. And then we just say those are equal. Okay, so does that work? Yeah, now we're starting to get the behaviors that we're looking for here. The next thing is that these 2 are supposed to be the same height, we said, because these are going to be all squares. So we can set that up. And then these ones, we want this one and this one to be the same height. And we're going to set those to be equal. Now, one thing that we haven't done is said that each one of these things are going to be a square. Now, we've said that this one's the same width as this one, same width as this one, and then we've said that this one's the same height as this one, same height as this one. So if I take any one of these 4 squares and I say that the width and the height are going to be the same, it'll force everything to become a square. This is like magic, isn't it? Look at that. Okay, so now if I start to resize, see everything now wants to be a square. Now, David would like a flat top on his case, so I'm going to choose this one, and this one, and this one. And you remember how we looked at adjusting the bottom support region? There's also a top support region, and in this model, there's this notion of support region, and we're going to grab that top support region this time. We'll close up the bottom support region, we'll take a look at the top, and I've got options for what kind of treatment I want. Now I could add supports, it's kind of weird, or I could put a fascia in there. It's a little bit less weird, it's okay. But in this case, what we want is to double up those panels. So we make a nice solid top there. Now, it's a little bit of measure spaghetti, but it's not too bad. If I take a look at assembly directions, okay, this is how the thing is going to go together, and this is the shape that I'm going to get. Well, it's quite attractive. I rather like it. Now, David wants to do a couple more things. So the first thing is he wants to put feet all the way across the bottom. So let's do that. Okay, feet, very good. Now, and then we need to do another thing, which is this is not forced yet to be down at the bottom of the case. It's kind of strange, huh? When I push this, it's trying to obey all those constraints. Okay, so all we want to do here is just set this to be a minimum amount. So we just say 2 inches, and then we can lock that, and then we now have this property where we do get squares, and they can't be less than, sorry, they can't be so small that it doesn't work, but I can design it to be whatever size that I want. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Now, if I do go back and take a look at these assembly directions, you can see here, so first, if you haven't seen them before, this is how joinery works in ShelfMe. So you can see that this piece here is going to join with this one and then push back. Everything pretty much is slide 10 the mortise. Not everything. I'll show you something that's not here in a second. So that, let's see. So we're going to create this piece. Now this is the piece that's not slide 10 the mortise. The way that things get joined for when there are 2 laminated panels like this is they go together with dowels. So you see they just slap together, right? That like that. Okay, so once everything's joined, this is what it's going to look like. Now there's a couple of things we want to do. These sort of boxes are always better when they can't shear. So if you think about those vertical pieces, if they can move against each other like this, it's going to be just a little bit more wobbly than if there's anything in the back that stops that from happening. So if I simply say choose this area right here, and then there's an option for choosing a backer for that area. If I just put in a backer right there, and I put in one right here, then this piece will be remarkably stronger than it would be otherwise. And I can take whichever of these pieces and just put in backers for them, whatever kind of decoration that you want. And then if we take a look at how they get assembled, it'll help you understand why this is stronger. So this is an individual strong piece right here, and then the whole thing gets attached. And after that second standard attaches to it, you can see how this piece that's in the back and this piece in the back, they stop that shearing motion from happening. And so they make the case really strong. It doesn't take many, and a case is always better when you have it. Okay, so that's pretty much what we need. And so something really nice about this now is I can decide after the fact how big I want everything to be. And when I set it, I know that I'm going to get something that makes sense with regards to our desire to have squares. Now, of course, you're probably thinking, well, yeah, but I don't want my squares to change size. So let's just change some dimension here, and it will change everything else. We'll say this is going to be 6 inches, and we'll lock that dimension. And so now, when I unselect everything again, I can change the dimensions, and let's say I make this 48. It's going to keep all these same dimensions and the same width of the legs, etc. But I can resize now anything about this case. So I can say, for example, that I want this to be 22 inches high, and I'll get something that is sensible given what I already asked for. So that's how you design things with Shelf Me in a way that will allow for later resizing. So we can take this, 18 inches. There we go. We've got a case. And so now you can run assembly directions and admire your work. Beautiful. Great. And that is something that is ready to order. It's a custom piece of furniture. It was designed by you. It will get assembled and finished by us in about a day, and it's going to cost you about $500. Okay, thanks very much for listening. Thank you, Roxy. See you later.